Okay, hi. Welcome to a bit more of a rapid fire episode of Edin Nuir. So I've just literally a few moments ago been asked to do a short video about how I've gone about making this, which is my outdoor scatter water. The video that I made beforehand about water using the liquid latex, that's more if I was in like caves or caverns or trying to simulate like on the fly stuff and whatever else, where this is obviously a hell of a lot more scenic. And I just wanted something that looked a little bit better for when my players are out and about, because, spoiler alert, if any of them watch this, they're going to be. Anyway, I'll land my waffle copter again. So if you guys are watching this, you should probably be subscribed to a channel called Black Magic Craft as well. And that guy makes some amazing bits and pieces, and that's where I took my inspiration for this. A lot of this is his method. I'm only making this video as part of a request, as I said beforehand. So what I've used to make this is the few alterations that I made, where there's a plywood base, which I'll explain as to why in a moment, whereas he used extruded polystyrene to make his, which is the pink or blue foam typically, and the yellow foam that I use to make stuff doesn't work. The nail polish method that he uses to eat into foam doesn't work with the yellow insulation foam. Whatever it's made of, it's resistant to it. So I ended up using what I could get my hands on, which was just packaging polystyrene, so the bobbly stuff. I just cut out the base as a random shape, laid that down, drew around that onto the polystyrene, cut that out, hot glued that onto the base, used a knife to do a bit of rough shaping, and then I used a marker pen to etch out where I wanted the water feature to be. I then took showing how disorganised this video is, although to be fair, let's compare that to any other video that I've made recently. Where on earth did I put that? Oh, there it is. It's hiding behind the blue paint. So I used a clear nail polish, the cheapest I could find, and all it is just them painting that around. I suppose it's no different to showing you the mid-process ones. I painted that around the area that I wanted the water feature to be into, and then it will just eat into the foam, but it'll eat into it in such a way as to leave like an interesting texture behind, which, as you can see, it looks like the blues and whatever else that are in there. The reason why they look so good is because they're actually on different heights to each other and whatever, so there is actually a legitimate depth to it. Also sank into this, which I'll get onto what I've sank them into in a while, is some clumping foliage, which I use just a it's kind of like a really fine grated sponge, and this is just like a mid-tone green. I sunk some of that in there to maybe look like a little bit of weed that's underneath the surface, and also, as suggested in the Black Magic Craft video, was some pieces of lichen, just very, very fine, very small pieces to represent some weeds that might be growing up from the water. Then the rest of this is fairly atypical for doing any sort of outdoors terrain and what have you. It's just the sand that I'm using at the moment has got a lot more small stones in it. Then that was just two-tone brown, and then it's using the same green clump foliage and some static grass just to make it look a little bit more lifelike. So these are what I've got as like what I'm working on at the moment. I've had to put some hot glue into this hole because the polystyrene, it gets eaten through at kind of random interval by the nail polish, and that's a result of it being the expanded polystyrene, not the extruded polystyrene. So I've had to plug the hole with some hot glue, so this is actually awaiting to be filled up soon with what I'm using for the water. Now what I am using for the water, you can buy the water effect stuff, but I remember from my days with the railway, I'm not going to tip the can too far backwards because it could leak, in the days back when I used to have model railway, I used to use for water effects was just clear gloss varnish. So you've got all your colours and whatever else set up underneath, and then you just build up layers of clear gloss varnish. And the downside to this is that it is laborious. Like, you have to come back you have to wait for it to dry, then you have to come back and give it another coat, and you have to make sure that everything's been coated properly, which can be a bit hard to eyeball. Blah 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 blah. However, when it's setting, you can actually go in with maybe some watered down greens, or maybe a little bit more blue, or if you wanted maybe a bit of a cloudy reflection to it, you could go in with some of that and add that underneath your layer, so you can build up layers of colour manually if you really want to. So that's kind of the pro to it, whereas with the two-part resin that he uses in the other video, you just mix those together and walk away and leave it and it sorts itself out, which obviously that's a lot easier if you don't have the time, patience, or you just prefer the bang and it's done method. So that's really all I've got to say about this as a method, really. I mean, you end up with really nice looking pieces. This, as I say, this is that clear gloss varnish. You can see you get a nice reflective surface to it. The nail polish to corrode the foam, and then any foliage. The paints that I've used inside, I've just used 2 blues and a green, a dark blue, a light blue, and then just a leaf green colour that I added in a little bit. And it's check out the Black Panther Craft channel if you want to see this in more detail. But I just wanted this to be a short blurb to answering question, and I'm now going to go back to working on the other ones. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.